All right, everybody, welcome in. This is the Stick and Hack Show. I'm your host, Adam Grubb, and that is Mike Ryan. The stick there, this is Stick and Hack on the 8 Side Network, powered by iHeartRadio. We are quite possibly the greatest golf show in the free world, run by the greatest golf club in the world without the course that is Stick and Hack. And today, Mike, is we might be the greatest golf show in the world today. We might actually believe our own hype today.
I absolutely agree. We've taken it to another level.
It is. The guest today is Major Ed Pulido. Major Ed is a U.S. Army retired, is the Senior Vice President of the Folds of Honor Foundation, a veterans charity, which provides the spouses and children of the fallen and wounded educational scholarships. That's not all. Additionally, he is a founding member of Warriors for Freedom Foundation, a leadership institute focused on the mental, physical, and wellness support of our wounded veterans and their families. And that's not all, Mike. He most recently founded the John-Daly Major Ed Heart of a Lion Foundation. He is on the show today, Mike, here in just a little bit. This is one of those, and people throw around the word hero all the time. But I honestly believe that this is the type of guy who, when you're in a room, you feel different. You know, he brings a different level to life, and we're super excited to talk to him. And he's a golfer too, Mike.
Absolutely.
Which is a golf show, so I mean it makes sense that he would be some sort of some golfer. But he's got an incredible story. We're going to get to him here in just a little bit. Now, Mike, you know this because you're on the show and you've been doing the show with me for a long time. Every time we do the program, I do a story, right? That kind of has something to do with the guest, right? And sometimes it's loose.
Usually very vaguely tied to the
Sometimes it's a very loose connection. But today, sir, I'm just going to read his story because it doesn't make any sense to try to tell a story that has something to do with his. I'm just going to read his story. Okay?
Yeah, his story is way cooler than anything you're going to come up with.
Couldn't agree more. All right. So first up, Mike, the name of the story, The Ultimate. On the 17th of August, 2004, Major Ed hit an improvised explosive device, or as we know it, an IED. It's a roadside bomb. He was serving with the Coalition Military Assistance Training Team under the command of General David Petraeus. Due to the extensive injuries to his left knee, doctors had to amputate his left leg on October the 1st, 2004. For his heroism and valor on that August day, the President of the United States, along with General David Petraeus, awarded him the Bronze Star with Valor, Purple Heart, Medallion. Oh, I knew I was going to do that, Mike. This is why, even in practice, you have to stay focused. It's another service medal, Mike. I can't say it now. I've actually
meritorious
service medal and the Joint Service Commendation and Achievement medals. Major's story of courage and sacrifice has been featured in Time Magazine, PGA Magazine, Fox News, CNN, and many national and local Oklahoma City television stations and print media where he resides. Since his amputation, Major Pulido has been a staunch advocate for veterans with disabilities, specifically focused on advocacy efforts to promote prosthetic technologies, peer visiting with fellow amputees at Brooke and Walter Reed Medical Centers, and raising awareness of the needs of veterans with PTSD and traumatic brain disorders on behalf of the DoD and VA Real Warriors National Campaign. This is where it gets crazy, Mike. I'm going to this dude, I mean,
the list is
extensive. He has received countless awards, including the prestigious Disabled American Veteran of the Year Award, Heartline Festival of Hope Award for Suicide Prevention, the Heroes Award for the American Red Cross, the Reaching Our City Award, OKC Thunder Devon Energy Community Hero Award, which I hear is very difficult to get, the Daughters of the American Revolution Veteran Patent Award. Additionally, he has received the Valley Forge Freedom Foundation Award for national and state level service. He has a degree in military science, marketing, and criminal justice, a master's degree in logistics management and human relations. He attained the rank of major in his 19-year military career, and on May 16, 2005, he was medically retired from the United States Army. What have you done, Mike?
Absolutely zero compared to that.
Now he completes his amazing list of life accomplishments with a spot here with us on Stick and Hack. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome in Major Ed Pulido. Major, my God, what I was sweating reading that list of accomplishments, and that probably isn't even half of it. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for being a part of this.
Well, thank you for having me on the Stick and Hack. I love the name, by the way,
Thank you.
man. I tell you what, I kind of represent both of those things on the golf course. But you know what? It's a great day to be an American, and it's a great day to be on the show. And more importantly, you know what? To talk about all things considered in the game of golf. And congratulations on the great work you're doing and advocating and putting people like me on to tell our story from a different perspective. And to me, you know what? At the end of the day, freedom's not free.
Well, Major, we appreciate it. I want to first start by saying how incredibly honored we are, really, truly, to have you on the show. I mean, I say that often to our guests, how incredibly honored we are, but it's typically me just pandering to them. That's not the case here. Okay, your life, even as a movie, is somewhat unrealistic. Yet here you are with this attitude, your charm, your love for golf, love for life, love for people. Why is that?
Well, I got to tell you, it all starts with my dad and my mom and the upbringing. My father's Colombian, my mom was Puerto Rican. If you know anything about those two, it's like oil and water getting together, man. And it's just my mom's a spitfire, but you know what? I have a lot of her traits, and that is, respect people, love on people, and you know what? I always make every human that you come in contact with feel like they're the biggest thing in the world. And the thing about that is it's very difficult to do, but at the end of the day, you know what? I'm just happy I got a second chance in life. When you hit a roadside bomb, a 250 pounder, all you want to do is make sure, man, you get out of that situation alive. And through the grace of God and my love for country, I'm here to be able to cherish the moments. And, since 37 years of age, now I'm 54 here in May. And I got to tell you, every birthday counts for me.
Major Ed Pulido is the guest here. Mike, there's something, Mike, with you and I when we have these guests on. We have a time allotment, right? And already we can tell that we're going to run out of time talking to this dude because of his life story.
He's got way more to talk about than we do.
Agreed.
Major Ed, your days are spent just making people aware of all the things, not that just that you went through, but thousands of our other soldiers go through every day. When did you make the decision to let what happened to you define you in the most positive way possible and start educating people about it?
You know what? I will tell you exactly when it was, October 1st, 2004, when the leg came off. After being in what they call, intensive care, and then I was under quarantine. I had E. coli, Acinetobacter, 2 staph infections, a chemical agent in my leg. And October 1st, 2004, they take off the left leg, and I will tell you that I almost lost my arm as well. Now, that would have been freaking difficult, let me tell you. But you know what? At the end of the day, my mom had come in my room, and you know what she said? She said, you know what? You can get up. You could sit there and grieve or get up and succeed. And I just decided, you know what? I'm going to be successful, and started walking in a prosthetic in 17 days, which was a real remarkable thing. Discovery did a big story on it because you know what? Most people don't get in prosthetics like that, but I just wanted to get back up on my feet. And then I was there helping other veterans out in the hospital, and everybody was like, wow, this is a big amazement. I think what was funny is they wrote down the wrong birth date for me, and they actually gave me an extra 10 years. And so I was, everybody thought I was 27 years of age. Well, actually, they decreased, and they thought I was 27 years old. And I'm like thinking, well, no, I am 37 at the time. But you know what? I went through a really, I wouldn't say dark time, but it was a very difficult time. And then all of a sudden, you know what? It's like you start seeing people and you start saying, what's next for you? And then, one of the toughest things that I had to ever go through, and every veteran does, I don't know if you guys know this, when they come to you and they tell you, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service and sacrifice. You've been rated unfit for duty, and you're going to basically head home. And that, to me, man, that was tough. And when I heard those words, I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. You know what? I'd shed a tear, and I was like, man, my life is over. And then that next day, you just wake up and you're like, man, you know what? I'm gonna move mountains here. And so I decided that philanthropy was the place for me. I've written a book about all of my experiences. But, doing something above ourselves and for others, man, is what I'm all about. That's what wakes me up. That's what puts the prosthetic on. And you know what? I told somebody last night at a speaking engagement that I did, I told them, I said, you know what? I'm never going to quit, and I'm never going to stop working till the day I die. And that's my philosophy. And you know what? I'm gonna have fun doing it now. Don't get me wrong. My job isn't that hard playing golf with, John-Daly, Kid Rock, and Lee Bryce, and a bunch of music talent out there in Nashville. Because I've spent a lot of time out there doing various events. In fact, we're getting ready to do Tracy Lawrence's event here in May, and it's just always exciting to be around all of these individuals that care about our wounded service members and love our country. And that to me is what country music and the game of golf does. It brings us all together. We're going to be playing over at Old Hickory Golf and Country Club out there in Nashville. And it's always a great time. And the only reason I bring that up is because I attend a lot of those celebrity type events and hit golf balls on a par 3, man. And I tell you what, man, I kill it, baby.
Major, you and I have a lot in common in that, well, actually, no, we don't. We have zero in common. I've never played golf with a celebrity. I've never been in combat. I've never been a public speaker. I don't have the life that you have. And that's the thing, your organizations and associations and your philanthropic work, it continues to grow in support of some very famous people. And your donations and participation from celebrities. Let's see, you've met athletes, musicians, actors, actresses, presidents, Kid Rock, apparently. Who has surprised you the most in their generosity or passion for your message and what you're trying to do out there?
Well, I will tell you, and I'm just going to be pretty upfront. We have a gentleman by the name of Larry that's on our board now. He works for the worked for the Trump administration in the golf space, of course, with all the golf courses around the country. And sometimes a lot of people get bad raps for whatever it is. But I will tell you, the person that really inspires me with their philanthropy and their giving of their heart is John-Daly. And I'm not just saying that because I work with him. For him to put my name next to his name on this philanthropy footprint was a huge deal. And to me, one of the things that I see is that all of those individuals, from Ernie Els to Vijay Singh to Tom Lehman, Corey Pavin, a lot of the bigger, the Champions Tour people, Bernard Langer, I know all of those individuals, and I will tell you that their heart is extremely generous when it comes to all of that. And I'm around a lot of of course, the Champions Tour players because of John. But there's a gentleman by the name of Ken Duke, and I'm sure you're familiar with him. They call him the Journeyman. He won the Travelers, man, the Travelers up there, in Massachusetts, I believe. And the thing about it is that people like him, they just give of their heart, their resources, and then they do things behind the scenes that nobody ever will know. And that to me is the essence of giving and of supporting. And that's what John-Daly does. That's what he did years ago when he won the 1991 PGA Championship. And, of course, somebody gets hit by lightning and he takes care of those girls' education. That to me is what America's all about. You know what? Freedom's not free. We have a sacrifice that we make. And I'm just glad to be on your show to be able to talk about these great statesmen. And I'll end with this. Kid Rock is the man, too. And he doesn't give nothing to anything like
Really?
that. Well, meaning that he doesn't give a crap about anything in the sense that, you can try to tear him down and do whatever. And he's actually a pretty good golfer. He hangs out with Jack Nicklaus too. So it's pretty neat just to see how all of these people come together with the game of golf being the staple for all of that. But he's a big philanthropist as well. And a big kudos to Kid Rock for showing up at our events and making things happen.
Major, we had Ken Duke on the show, and Mike and I had the exact same reaction. Is that, and a lot of golf, and I don't know if you're illuminating this now, but a lot of golfers that there's this other side of them that you had no idea, because you only see them on the weekends, you only see them grinding, you don't see them smile much, you don't see them really talk much, you don't see them do much of anything other than play golf and walk. And to see that other side of their lives is phenomenal. And I'm glad to hear that you're getting that support. And there's this entire group of celebrities where bringing golf and life and philanthropy and a cause, and there's no better cause than what you're out there promoting and pushing and talking about. It's got to be exciting and a little humbling for you, I'm sure, at this stage in your life. Yeah.
Yeah, it is humbling. And, I do a lot with the regular PGA Tour players as well. They are a lot more guarded, to be frank with you. I mean, you've seen it. They have to be. Everyone's out to get everybody these days. I mean, you have a cell phone and you've got somebody, following somebody, trying to get some scoop on them or whatever it is. And then they put out something that, and I've had to learn this, they put out something that's so negative, and that really wasn't even the tone of the conversation. And I think that to me is sad for the fact that, for the players to be connected to the fans and all of that. We have to do a better job of making those connections. Not saying that there's issues there. I just think that sometimes, that player experience with the fan experience, we as fans have to be very, very aware of the issues that they face, and the fact that, privacy and those conversations that you may have with someone that are private and confidential and just are game changing, that, you don't have to run around and tell everybody what was discussed. I think people want to be themselves, and I think that to me is my hope, that with the PGA Tour, as opposed to the Champions Tour, you just see kind of a little bit of a difference there. But again, I respect those tour players. I mean, I've done some stuff with Tiger Woods in the past. We'd had a clinic that we did at the PNC Championship years ago. It was great to see Little John do well at the PNC Championship this past year. If you were able to see that, they went down to the wire, and Charlie's doing great. And it was just good to see a lot of the other tour players just let loose. When you go to an event like that and you see them kind of letting loose, being themselves, it's really neat, because they just want to be like everybody else. And at the end of the day, when they're in the office, you don't mess around with them. You got to make sure that you take care of their privacy when it relates to that, because when they're in the office, they're working, and you know what? They get paid a lot of money to do what they do. So that's pretty cool as well.
They do.
Major Ed, most guests, that we have on the show, we know their golf story, their origin, or their love of the sport. With you, we don't really know it. Take us through your golf journey, and why is the sport of golf so important to you?
Well, I'm a baseball player by nature, so I never really took up the game. I actually carried the clubs for the general. That was my take at the time, And then all of a sudden, I will tell you what was a game changer is when I met Colonel Rooney, in the Folds of Honor. And then I got an opportunity to really go to Ireland and play those golf courses when we took 25 wounded veterans one year and then another 25 the next year with their spouses. I will tell you that the most incredible thing happened. Number one, the first year that I went, I was hacking at the ball. And then all of a sudden, the second year that I go, I took some lessons. I really kind of decided I wanted to improve my game. And that's the way that I really approached it, is the fact that, if you actually take the time to truly understand the game and also take some lessons and just improve your footwork and all of the things that go along with it, because I live with a prosthetic, so it takes me a little bit of energy to come over the ball, etc. And I had to learn all of that. Not saying that I didn't have it before, but with missing a limb, it's like I had to kind of change the game all around. And the thing is that I did do that from my stance to the holding of how I hold the club, to my putting, to all of those things. It was one of those things where I was transformed. And it's interesting. There's a lot of people that actually pick up the game later in life. Mm-hmm. They just don't have the time for it, with children and all of the things that they have to do in their work life, et cetera. And, for me, it was like that. I was playing, little tournament, an event here, an event there for charity, et cetera. But now I actually do it to where, I try to play at least twice a week. And the reason that I do is, number one, good exercise. For me, mental health is important with it because of the comprehension or the competitive nature that I have with others that I'm competing with and having fun with. And you know what? I'm like this. I'm going to tell you something. I never keep score. And the reason I'm going to tell you that, and it's important for me, is because I tee it up in the middle of the fairway and I get it there. And that to me is like, you know what? I'm just having fun with the game. And I think that to me is where a lot of people get too caught up in. And I want to be like a tour player. Well, you know what? You're not. So at the end of the day, just have fun and frickin' go out there and hit the golf ball. And guess what? You know what? Have a cold one and then come to the clubhouse and enjoy your time and know that, you know what? you were able to do something kind of cool. And that is, you know what, playing a game that's been around a long time that's really purposeful as well.
I cannot even tell you how many people I wish had that same
I know,
attitude
right,
about
Mike?
golf.
It would change the entire thing. But Mike, can you imagine just playing with Major Ed and we don't tell anybody, and all of a sudden he's just teeing up in the middle of the fairway? Like, what's your boy doing? I don't know. Just let him go. He's been through some stuff. Okay, let him tee off wherever he wants to tee off. How about that?
Well, and you know what? Real quick, I have to tell you the story. So I played in this group, and I was the thoroughbred, is what I call me. I won't even go into the details of how I got there.
We
But the
don't want to
Veterans
hear 'em.
the Veterans Administration pairs me up, and I'm the thoroughbred with these four ladies. And I didn't know they were playing with the USGA rules, you know. And I'm like thinking I'm going to play like I usually do. And the lady, bless her heart, she's like, "You need to go in there in that bunker and hit that ball out of that bunker." Number one, I don't hit balls out of bunkers. Let me just tell you why. My prosthetic sinks in those bunkers, and then I have all kinds of sand in my feet. I'm not doing that. I have a 14-pound weight that I have to carry around a bowling ball, let alone get in there and this isn't like I'm not a prisoner carrying this, weight out of that thing. And I'm just telling you, that's how I feel, because it's very hard to move this leg. But I lasted 2 holes, and I said, you know what? I'm not keeping score. I'm hitting the balls the way I am. And guess what? I had a great round, and I beat them all too.
You're damn right
on that day, just doing what I do. I mean,
Well,
I don't.
but you don't
There's
hit
no
it out of the
cheating
bunker.
involved. I just do it the way I want to do it.
But know what? You beat them because you're just placing the ball wherever you feel like it should be.
I know, man. It
I
was
would've-
funny.
I would have paid so much money to be in that group just to hear that woman tell you to get into it.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
and the way she did it, she's like, "You get out of that thing now." And I was like, "Wow, man, I got PTSD. Don't stress me out too much."
So I don't know how to transition out of that, but I'm going to do my best. You've been through some of life's honest to God toughest times and challenges, and you see that as your backdrop for the motivation of others. But what motivates you?
Oh, what motivates me is, I will tell you that when I was in the hospital, somebody asked me, "What do you want to do? I mean, what's your hobbies?" And as I was transitioning, getting ready to get out, I said, "You know what? I want to work. That's what drives me every day. Working, being passionate about what I do. Like, for example, I mean, you all have this show. Look how much time you put into it. But the reason you do it is because you're passionate and you love it. Just like golf, it's like being passionate about everything. That's what I tell everybody. That's my motivation every day, is if I'm not passionate about something, why am I going to do it? And the thing about it is that, now bear in mind, there's things you got to do. And I understand all of that. But when I am passionate about something, I give 110%. And everybody that knows me, in fact, somebody asked me last night, there's like, what's your biggest weakness? And I said, you know what? Number one, time management, because I can't manage my time sometimes, because when I'm talking to someone, I give them my fullest attention. But one of the most positive traits that I have, but it's also a weak trait, is I talk to everybody. And sometimes that takes away time from other things that I have to do. Yeah. But I give everyone the ultimate piece of attention when they speak to me. And if I was a celebrity, that's the way I would approach it. Because you know what? At the end of the day, you never know when you make someone's day. And that, to me, is the motivation behind my life, what I do. And sometimes it's a detriment to my family, because they were like, you know what? You're going to do this. But you know what? I give it my all. And the reason I do is because at some point in my life, when I saw the light, I told myself, if I get a second chance, I'm going to be the best that I can be. And that's what I'm all about.
Can you imagine when he told his wife he was going to be on the Stick and Hack show? She goes, "Why? Come on, can you just?"
Well, they went shopping.
Yeah, they went shopping.
They went shopping.
Major Ed Pulido is the guest here on the Stick and Hack show.
Oh my God! So we talked about this guy a little bit earlier, John-Daly. What's the situation with this guy? He's the quintessential stick and hack personality, and I don't want to turn this into the JD hour, but do you have one or two stories about him that you can share with us?
Well, yeah, John is one. He's his own individual, and when he tells you the story of the 1991 PGA Championship and how that happened, of course, it's been well documented. But one of the things that happened is that in his case, he won early. And the thing about it is that that's usually doesn't ever happen like that. You know what I mean? And for him to win early, and for some years he'll tell you that things spiraled a little bit for him. But the thing about it is that, you know what? He's always been real. And he's been doing an event for the Boys and Girls Club for over 30 years. So, you know, the cool stories of him is that, you know what? I was there at Whistling Straits when he, of course, didn't do so well. And if you recall, he threw his stuff around at that place, you know.
He threw it into the
And
water. He threw it 100 yards into
I
the
know.
water.
Hey, you know what? He could throw too. And it was so funny because he comes off the golf course. I'm sitting there, and this is kind of the first time really where I'd seen him before. He'd wave, "Hey, how are you?" Shook my hand. But it was the first time at Whistling Straits PGA Championship that it was one of those moments where after he came up the clubhouse, he came up there, and you know who's up there with me, which I didn't even know who I was with at first. Okay, I'm sitting there. And I'm like talking to the gentleman, and he's got this little mustache, Raleigh Fingers mustache. And I'm talking to the gentleman. I'm like, "Yeah, hey, what do you do?" You know, he's like, "Well, you ever seen anything? You seen the bathtubs and the toilets?" And yeah, and I'm like, "Mr. Kohler," you know,
Herb.
and I'm like talking to him. I'm like, "You are the Mr. Kohler?" And he was smoking a cigar. And John comes up later, and we just had a great time. He went in the clubhouse, John did, and then he came out and threw down with us. And you know, that's just John-Daly right there.
Yeah.
And it's so remarkable. And then, of course, you know, I got to tell you, I've done some great things with John, and you know, we've had some great times. But playing with Toby Keith and John and a lot of the other country music artists is always a great time because you know what, they let loose. They have a good time. Jake Owen is a great asset and player as well. And I remember us hitting these golf balls. And you know what? I credit John in my game. The reason it's improved is he told me, you know what? You're going back too fast and you're coming forward too fast. Just go back and be smooth. And when I did that, you know what? The ball had more distance. The ball ended up going straight. And I ended up actually having a better experience on the golf course. So to everybody that's out there listening, you know, just take your time, get to learn the game.
What was that tip again, Major Ed? Just one more time. Just
as
real
you come
slow.
back, go smooth.
And
come back smooth.
Okay. All right. I'll try.
I've tried to give this advice. I've tried to give this advice to him.
You did,
and he still he.
I'll try that.
I was hacking. I thought that I needed to pound the ball down the range, man.
That's what we're there for.
Shoot, man.
What are we doing?
And you'll love this. John makes fun of me, but I use a putter, a 7, the pitching wedge, and a driver.
Right.
That's it.
What else?
For every hole, baby.
Are there more clubs?
I love that strategy.
I don't even carry those other clubs. I don't need to.
Why would you?
Well, I love that strategy.
I do carry the one what's that one thing that you get golf balls out of the water?
Yes. The ball retriever.
Grandpa's deal.
Grandpa's deal.
I had one in my bag, and that's what they said. Man, come on, Grandpa.
Major Ed Pulido is the guest here. You know, Major, I could not put this down. This book of yours, Warrior for Freedom. This is phenomenal. And
you got a copy, don't you, man?
Of course I do.
You're bad to the bone, dude.
Yeah, I'm right there. I read it last night, and it's dramatic. It's funny. It's thought-provoking. It's educational. I mean, you tell a story about a car wreck that you were in, and forgive me here because I know it was dramatic, but I could put myself in that intersection because Mike, he got into a wreck, he got rear-ended, and his prosthetic fell off out into the street, and he is yelling in the middle of the street, take cover, because he was having a flashback, right?
Yeah.
And you got these people and this little old lady in a Kia or whatever the hell who hit you, and you're some crazy guy with no leg in the middle of the road yelling. Like it was dramatic and serious, but in my head, I'm like, oh my God. And knowing you, I'm like, that had to be one of the funniest scenes you could possibly imagine.
Oh, that's why I wrote about it. And she, God bless her, she went into a coma for 3 days. You know, she thought she took my leg off. She didn't even see the prosthetic because I was kind of like, incoming, hey, fire in the hole. And I got all freaking jacked up, man. It was cool though. And you know what? Here's the even more funny part of it. I was working with the United Way on their combined federal campaign, and I do a campaign rally at the IRS, and that's where she works. And I was telling that story, so I quit telling that story because
Oh,
sometimes you can't be telling stories like that and kind of calling somebody out. But it was so funny, and she came up to me. She's like, "I'm glad you didn't sue me." And I'm like, "Well, I wasn't going to sue you. I don't do that kind of stuff.
no.
I'm not an ambulance chaser." And let me tell you, there was a bunch of them. They were like, "Hey, act like you're messed up and that your back's all hurt." And I'm like, "I've already hit a roadside bomb. This was nothing."
I so she says, "I'm glad you didn't sue me," and you go, "No, but I did develop an entire chapter to this story." So I don't know which is worse.
It's in the book, though, right?
Oh yeah, it's in the book. It's the best. Major Ed Pulido is the guest. Major, what an absolute thrill to talk to you and to have you on the show. We can't wait. We hope that we can golf with you soon and be part of some of the things you have going on out there. We want to support it the best that we can, as well as the members and listeners of Stick and Hack. You have so much going on, and I'm going to go through it here. Warrior for Freedom, which is available on Amazon. That's his book. Website major.org, and furthermore, a portion of the proceeds from each book sale will go to the veteran charities John-Daly Major Ed Heart of Lion Foundation and the Warriors for Freedom. So there's a lot that you are behind and supporting. You're a motivational speaker. You're out on the circuit. Thank you for taking the time for us. But we're not done here. There's more to come. We're playing America's favorite game, In or Out. Next, this is the Stick and Hack Show.
Hoorah!
The Stick and Hack Challenge app is available now for iOS. Now, the Challenge app is like no other golf game out there. It takes the focus off of your final score and instead turns your round into a collection of challenges, objectives, and accomplishments. With more than 90 unique challenges to choose from, you'll never have the same experience twice. And if that's not enough, you can also challenge friends or strangers to see who comes out on top. Plus, with an XP system that rewards your successes, you'll be motivated to keep pushing yourself further. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out with the game, the Stick and Hack Challenge app is the perfect way to add some extra fun to your golf game. All right, we're back here, the Stick and Hack program. I'm Adam Grubb. That's Mike Ryan, and we are with Major Ed Pulido. Major, it is now time for perhaps the toughest challenge of your life. Okay?
Wow, In and Out. Come on now.
The game is called In or Out, and this is of our foursome. There's three of us here, you, Mike, and myself, in the order of importance. And now we've got a fourth that we're going to bring into this thing. And the category of In or Out is tough guys. Now,
Tough guys. Okay, I like it.
Which let's preface this with every person on this list pales in comparison to Major Ed.
Oh, man.
most.
They can't even touch. They can't
Man,
even
Mike
touch
Ryan, I
Major
need to
Ed.
sign you up for my deal, man.
All right, are you guys done, bro hugging?
Yeah,
You
we're
ready to
bro
rock and roll?
hugging.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. In or Out, tough guys. In or Out, Major Ed, Antonio Banderas.
I like that in.
Mike.
Yeah, I think I'm in on Antonio.
All right, I'm in. I'm in, but I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna like it, but I'm in.
I know.
Okay.
This list is going to be so hard.
It is hard. It is.
For Adam, because I know Adam wants to say no to like half these guys.
I do.
He's not going
Does?
to.
I do.
Oh.
In or Out,
Yeah.
tough guys. Liam Neeson.
I don't really know that dude.
Liam Neeson from Taken.
Oh,
Very
yes.
set of skills. Skills that make
Yes,
it very
okay.
difficult for a person like you.
Well, that's a very that's an end deal right there, isn't it? Don't
Yeah,
you
he's in.
think?
Liam Neeson's in. Mike.
Yeah, that's tough guy.
Yeah, he's tough.
I'm in with
Yeah,
Liam.
I'm in.
Well, first off, I love all his movies,
Right.
so
So
Yeah,
in or
me
out.
too.
In or Out, tough guys. Nick Cage, just because he's on every single one of our lists. Nick Cage, In or Out, tough guys.
Hey man, I tell you what, I like those movies. Those crazy. He's crazy, isn't he?
He's out of his mind. In or Out.
Yeah.
Or
He's wild.
is he playing with us or not?
I think I'll put that one out though.
Okay.
What do you think?
yeah, I think I'm out on Nick Cage.
I'm out on Nick Cage.
All I can think about is what is it? Leaving Las Vegas or something?
Yeah, leaving Las Vegas. Now he might be fun to play golf with. Leaving Las Vegas, Nick Cage might be fun.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Snake Eyes, Nick Cage, not so much. Sylvester
Nope.
Stallone. In or
Oh,
Out.
I got to be in on him. I just
What?
saw him.
Did you?
Yeah, I was at an event with him, and I'm telling you what, that dude might be 70 years old, but he looks like he's 50.
Yeah.
He's gotten a lot of plastic surgery.
I'm absolutely in on Sly Stallone. Man.
Yeah, hey, that's Rambo,
Rocky.
baby.
Yeah,
It's
Rambo, it's
Rambo, it's
Rocky.
Rocky. I mean,
Sly.
what are we talking about?
Dang.
I agree. He's in. Jackie Chan, In or Out, tough guys.
I think I'll do. I don't know. Jackie's. There's a golfer that looks like Jackie on the Champions Tour. I thought it was Jackie Chan. So I'm going to say out on that one because I messed that up. I forgot what his name was. He was trying to get one of those exemptions, and I'm like, man, you look. Hey, are you Jackie Chan?
Give Jackie Chan an exemption. What the hell?
And
are we
everybody
talking about?
that's what everybody called him that night too. I'm like, look,
Oh,
that's
my
Jackie,
goodness.
and they're like, man, that ain't Jackie, is it?
God.
That Jackie's gained some weight.
Mike, Jackie Chan, in or out?
He's out for me. The only way he would be in is if we somehow had a fivesome and Chris Tucker got.
There
to
you
play
go.
with us
You're
too.
right. That's the best thing you've ever said on this show, Mike.
That's right. I like that, Mike.
In or out, tough guys. We got Daniel Craig. He's Bond, James Bond. Daniel Craig.
I like James Bond.
Yeah, but that's not the question. The question, sir, is Daniel Craig in or out?
I don't think I think we're out on that.
Mike?
Yeah, I don't think he'd be good on a. Would he be good on our team?
I'm in on Daniel Craig. I think when he first became Bond, I thought he was going to be awful, and I actually think he's really good.
Yeah, he's out for me.
So I'm in on it.
He's out for me. He's got that smoldering kind of brooding. Like it looks like he's always pissed. Like just enjoy life. Like come out, play golf.
Well,
and
James Bond kind of has to look pissed off all the
again,
time.
guys,
Yeah,
I can't make this any clearer. James Bond is not playing golf. That's not the question. The question is Daniel Craig. All right.
Yeah, we don't want him going off on the cart girl or nothing.
No, that's true. Or
Right?
he'll steal
Come on
that
now.
girl,
We
probably.
need that fireball.
We
Jeez.
do. Russell Crowe, tough guys. In or out?
Oh, I like Russell Crowe. In. Come on, Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I'm in on Russell Crowe.
Are we Gladiator Russell Crowe or are we Fat Russell Crowe?
Gladiator.
Gladiator Russell Crowe's in.
Yeah.
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 With the tigers and lions or whatever else that's attacking him. Yeah.
Whatever else is there.
Yeah.
All right. So
Hey, what is it? Thumb up or thumb down, right?
I don't.
What are they?
Whatever you want to do, Major Ed. You do what you do.
Tom Cruise, tough guys. In or out?
You know what? I would do in, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think I'd pull some stuff on Tom Cruise. Mission Impossible. We hit him with a golf
in
ball.
on Tom. Yeah,
We hit him with a golf
absolutely.
ball.
I'm absolutely in on Tom Cruise, and I think he's underrated as a tough guy. I've heard some stories about some of the stunts he does and does himself.
Mike
is unbelievable.
I tell you what,
I heard that too.
Mike, you're in a zone today, man. You are in a zone because that's why he's on this list. Because you wouldn't think Tom Cruise, the romance, Tom Cruise, the face and the whole thing. He's 5'4", whatever the hell he is. The dude's tough, tough as nails. Like he's hanging off a plane,
Yeah.
Right,
There's a story about a stunt he did where he was jumping from one building to another in one of those Mission Impossibles, and he snapped his leg when he hit the ledge of the next building, snapped his leg, and then kept doing stunts.
Yeah,
it's that Scientology
like
he's
a week.
doing.
Yeah, apparently.
Tom Cruise is in. Sean Connery. Speaking of your Bond love affair, guys. Sean Connery, in or out, tough guys.
I like Sean Connery. I'm old school though.
Yeah,
I'd say in.
Connery's in. Connery's in for me
agree.
too.
Now
for sure.
Now there's one that I haven't heard you say. What's John Wick?
Keanu Reeves?
No, yeah, John Wick.
John Wick.
Keanu Reeves,
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves or Nick Cage make
Keanu
one
Reeves.
of these lists every
John
single
Wick,
time.
yeah.
So this time
They do, right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Here's the last one. In or out, tough guys. We're with Major Ed Pulido. Steven Seagal.
You know, I know Steven Seagal, so I'd have to say in.
Oh no. Oh no,
I
Mike.
met him once when he was all ballooned up.
What do I do, Mike?
Well, I'll go with you guys. Hey, we'll put him out. Let's put him out. We'll
What
put
do
him
I
out
do?
the pasture.
No, it's
We'll
all
put him
right.
out
Yeah.
the pasture.
It's all right, Mike.
There was a time when I really liked Steven Seagal, and then I just feel like he's
He's gone off the
I feel like
reservation
he's
a bit.
on another planet sometimes.
going
Yeah,
off
he's kind of
these
like
days.
Mickey Rourke. He's gone
Yeah.
off the reservation. I
He is.
agree with that.
He is. He's
I used to like the old school one. I agree with that.
For sure.
old school Mickey Rourke, old school Steven Seagal in.
Yeah.
Steven
They're
Seagal
in,
now
Yeah, for sure.
hard pass.
Not so much.
Yeah, we'll
All right,
pass.
everybody. That's it. That is the Stick and Hack Show, and that's Major Ed Pulido. Major, a privilege and an honor to talk to you, sir. I'm so glad you were part of this. You were everything I was told you were going to be. So thank you for that. We are quite possibly the world's greatest golf show in the free world, presented by stickandhack.com. Go there to become a free member, get the early Tee newsletter, download our challenge app, and change your golf experience forever. Stick and Hack is on the 8 Side Network, powered by iHeartRadio. Major, congratulations. Continued good luck, sir, out there. Stay out of those bunkers, and we're proud of you.
Well, and if anybody wants to support us, go to jdme1991.org. They can find out more about what we're doing and give generously. Hey, and to you, Adam and Mike, man, what a show, baby. Come on now. Congratulations.
Appreciate it very much. All right, everybody. You guys keep
Thanks
well,
so
and we'll
much.
see you again, no doubt.
All right. Peace out, guys.